Ladies and gentlemen, today's success often feels intimidating because it lies in uncharted territories, far beyond the realm of our comfort zones. Imagine a vast, unexplored frontier, the unknown. It's a place without clear roads or maps, filled with risks, challenges, and opportunities alike. This is the territory success resides in, and to reach it, we have to leave behind what is familiar and step into an entirely new experience. Many of us find ourselves standing at the edge of this unknown, feeling the pull toward growth and achievement, yet hesitant because of the uncertainties that accompany it. Our comfort zone is a place we know well. It's predictable, reassuring, and easy. When we stay in our comfort zones, we're less likely to face challenges that test us or situations that make us feel vulnerable. We become accustomed to the daily routines and environments that allow us to operate on autopilot, where there's little at stake and minimal risk involved. But if we're honest deep down, we know that staying in this space means limiting our potential, forfeiting our dreams, and ultimately shrinking in our own skin. And the truth is, growth doesn't happen in places where we feel safe. Growth happens where we stretch, take chances, and encounter moments of uncertainty. Stepping into the unknown is intimidating for a very natural reason. It activates our survival instincts. Our minds are hardwired to protect us. And when we approach something unfamiliar, our brain interprets it as a potential threat. The fear response is triggered, encouraging us to retreat to safer ground, to that comfortable zone where the stakes aren't high. It's why so many people never fully pursue the dreams they hold deep within them. They see the edge of what's familiar, and instead of stepping forward, they step back, comforting themselves with the excuse that they're not ready or that the time isn't right. But if we look a little deeper, it becomes clear that this resistance isn't really about the dangers and the unknown. It's more about our lack of experience navigating it. Think back to the first time you rode a bike or learned to drive. The unknown was intimidating then too. Every muscle in your body was tense. You overanalyzed every move, and you were hyper aware of the potential risks. But with time and persistence, you moved beyond that initial fear. Eventually, riding a bike or driving became second nature. You grew comfortable in an environment that once felt completely foreign to you. This same principle applies to success. If you're willing to step into unfamiliar territories, embrace a bit of discomfort, and commit to the journey, what was once unknown will soon become familiar, manageable, and eventually mastered. The unknown is where growth happens, where you transform from who you are now into who you have the potential to become. Every successful person you admire has spent significant time in this realm. They've experienced the confusion, the mistakes, and even the temporary failures that accompany the journey towards success. But they embraced this uncertainty as an essential part of their evolution. They understood that the fear of the unknown wasn't an indicator to turn back. It was a signal that they were moving towards something greater. One of the biggest misconceptions people hold about success is that it's a place of comfort, ease, and security. But success is not static. It is a dynamic state that requires constant adaptation, learning, and resilience. To truly succeed, we must be willing to live in a space where we don't have all the answers, where outcomes aren't guaranteed, and where we are constantly being called to stretch beyond our current abilities. The unknown is where your growth meets your grit, where your skills meet your spirit, and where you discover strengths you never realized you had. When you're on the path to success, it's natural to feel moments of self-doubt or to question whether you're capable of reaching the heights you envision. The unknown amplifies these questions, making us wonder if we have what it takes or if we're somehow inadequate. But these questions aren't roadblocks. They're the very experiences that shape and mold us. They prompt us to dig deep, to cultivate resilience, and to seek out resources and knowledge that we didn't know we needed. In this way, the unknown doesn't just lead us to success, it prepares us for it. It ensures that when we arrive, we do so as individuals who are ready, grounded, and capable of sustaining the success we've achieved. As you stand on the edge of the unknown, remember that fear is not a sign to stop, it's an invitation to grow. Fear often appears when you're about to step into something meaningful, something that has the potential to transform your life. It's a guidepost pointing you toward areas where you have the chance to expand, learn, and redefine what's possible. The people who achieve the greatest levels of success are not those who never feel fear. They are those who feel it and move forward anyway. They understand that the unknown is not a void, it's a rich, fertile ground for self-discovery, creativity, and mastery. The beauty of embracing the unknown is that it opens you up to experiences and opportunities you would never encounter if you stayed in your comfort zone. It brings new people, ideas, and insights into your life, each of which has the potential to accelerate your progress. Success doesn't happen in isolation, nor does it happen when we cling to what's safe. It happens when we open ourselves to the world, taking on challenges, facing uncertainties, and allowing ourselves to be reshaped by what we encounter. Success at its core is about becoming the best version of yourself, and that version is rarely found within the bounds of what you already know. It lies in the uncharted territories, in the experiences that push you to your limits and reveal what you're truly capable of. Success is a word often defined by society in narrow terms: money, status, titles, or possessions. Yet, if we look closer, we see that success is a profoundly personal journey that goes far beyond any material accumulation. To truly succeed, we must redefine success in a way that resonates with our inner values, aspirations, and potential. When we align our goals with our deeper self, success becomes a natural extension of who we are, not something we chase with blind ambition or feel compelled to pursue based on society's expectations. Redefining success in this way requires us to shift our perspective from external validation to internal growth, from acquiring things to developing character, and from merely reaching destinations to evolving through each step of the journey. Too often we inherit society's notion of success without ever questioning if it aligns with our own purpose. We may see examples in the media or hear stories of people with prestigious jobs, grand homes, or high incomes, and assume that these are markers of a life well lived. But material wealth or social status often tell only a fragment of the story. Some of the wealthiest individuals are those who feel the most unfulfilled because they followed someone else's script of success rather than their own. It's all too easy to be caught up in what we told success should look like, instead of asking ourselves what it truly means to us. Real success must be a mirror of our values, not merely a reflection of societal expectations. To redefine success is to ask ourselves what genuinely brings us joy, purpose, and a sense of fulfillment. This inquiry can feel uncomfortable because it requires peeling back layers of external expectations, cultural norms, and social pressures. It requires us to confront the question of what truly matters to us beyond the opinions of others, beyond financial security, and even beyond the approval of our closest circles. When we explore these deeper questions, we may find that success has less to do with reaching specific milestones and more to do with becoming a person of integrity, kindness, and wisdom. This definition of success can make all the difference in our lives, offering a guiding compass that points us toward a purpose-driven existence rather than an outcome-oriented one. Consider the difference between setting a goal to earn a certain income versus setting a goal to contribute meaningfully to others in your field. The former goal is outcome-focused, is quantifiable, measurable, and often looks good on paper. The latter is purpose-focused, it aligns with your values, and is likely to bring a deeper sense of satisfaction. When success is defined by our purpose and our impact on others, it ceases to be something we chase out of a need for validation. Instead, it becomes a natural outcome of living authentically and in alignment with our highest values. This kind of success is less susceptible to the whims of the economy or the fluctuating opinions of society. It's grounded, resilient, and deeply fulfilling, offering a sense of accomplishment that is independent of external conditions. One of the most liberating aspects of redefining success is that it removes the fear of failure. When success is rooted in personal growth, character development, and a commitment to positive impact, there's no such thing as failure, only opportunities for learning and improvement. Traditional definitions of success often imply that there's only one path to follow, one version of achievement, and anything less than perfection is a setback. But when we redefine success as a journey of becoming, every step, every stumble, and every detour contributes to our growth. Success becomes a process, an evolution, rather than a finite destination. This shift can free us from the self-imposed pressure to achieve specific outcomes and allow us to embrace the journey for all that it teaches us. Redefining success also allows us to cultivate a more holistic view of our lives. Instead of focusing solely on career advancement or financial gain, we start to see the importance of relationships, health, personal growth, and our contributions to our communities. Success in this sense is multidimensional. It's about having meaningful connections, taking care of our well-being, challenging ourselves intellectually and emotionally, and making a positive impact on the world around us. This holistic perspective enables us to create a balanced life where success isn't limited to one area but is woven into the fabric of everything we do. It encourages us to see the interdependence of different aspects of our lives, recognizing that true success in one area supports success in others. There's a profound power in aligning success with purpose, because purpose gives us direction, resilience, and a sense of meaning that goes beyond any individual achievement. When we view success through the lens of purpose, we're no longer swayed by temporary setbacks, nor are we overly influenced by fleeting moments of triumph. Purpose acts as a stabilizing force, guiding us through the ups and downs, keeping us anchored to what truly matters. It brings clarity in times of confusion, reminding us that we're on a path that resonates with who we are at our core. Purpose-based success isn't something that can be measured by external metrics, because its rewards are deeply personal, internal, and lasting. Redefining success is not just an individual pursuit, it has a ripple effect on the people around us. When we pursue success with integrity and purpose, we inspire others to question their own definitions of success. We create a space where people feel empowered to follow their paths, make choices that align with their values, and reject superficial measures of achievement. This kind of success builds a legacy that extends beyond individual accomplishments. It impacts families, communities, and even society as a whole. It challenges conventional wisdom, encourages new conversations, and fosters a culture where people are valued for who they are rather than what they achieve. This shift in perspective allows us to see success not as a privilege for a select few, but as an accessible journey for anyone willing to pursue personal growth, purpose, and positive impact. By defining success in these terms, we remove the arbitrary barriers that society often places on achievement. Success is no longer a limited resource reserved for those with specific talents or opportunities. Instead, it becomes a journey available to anyone willing to explore their potential, contribute meaningfully, and remain true to themselves. This redefinition democratizes success, empowering us all to create lives that are rich in meaning, impact, and fulfillment. When success is grounded in personal values, it becomes self-sustaining. Unlike the traditional markers of success, which often lose their luster over time, a purpose-driven definition of success grows stronger with each passing year. It provides a foundation that is resilient to life's inevitable changes and challenges. It becomes a source of motivation that doesn't rely on external rewards, because the journey itself is inherently fulfilling. In redefining success in this way, we open ourselves up to a life of continuous learning, growth, and contribution. A life where success is not a final destination, but a vibrant, evolving process that enriches both ourselves and the world around us. Self-doubt is one of the most pervasive barriers to personal success. It's an internal dialogue that seems to follow us, particularly when we're on the verge of trying something new, something big, or something that could change the trajectory of our lives. It's the voice that questions, am I good enough? What if I fail? Do I really deserve this? For many, this voice can feel as real as anything external, a powerful force that can either stifle potential or, if confronted, can catalyze profound growth. Understanding, challenging, and ultimately overcoming self-doubt is an essential part of moving towards success, as it not only frees us from our own limiting beliefs, but also allows us to operate from a place of self-assurance, resilience, and authenticity. At its core, self-doubt stems from an underlying fear of inadequacy, often rooted in past experiences or inherited beliefs. From a young age, many of us are conditioned by external expectations, criticisms, and the comparisons drawn between ourselves and others. If someone grows up hearing they aren't talented enough, smart enough, or capable enough, these messages can embed themselves deeply, shaping a perception of self that sees limitations instead of potential. These messages are often so subtle and pervasive that we don't even realize they've become part of our inner dialogue. Instead of recognizing self-doubt as a learned response, we interpret it as truth, and in doing so, we undermine our own worth and potential. Self-doubt can often be exacerbated by a culture that promotes comparison. In an age of social media, where the successes of others are broadcasted daily, it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring our worth against the curated highlights of others' lives. We see others achieving goals, reaching milestones, or enjoying lifestyles that seem out of reach, and we wonder why we aren't there yet, or if we ever could be. This constant comparison feeds into our self-doubt, making it difficult to recognize our unique path and progress. We begin to see ourselves through the lens of what we lack, rather than focusing on our strengths, our accomplishments, and the unique value we bring. This habit of comparison not only fuels self-doubt, but also distracts us from investing in our own journey. It's important to recognize that self-doubt is not inherently negative. It can serve a purpose if approached mindfully. To be diligent and to prepare thoroughly. However, when left unchecked, self-doubt becomes a barrier, trapping us in a cycle of inaction and second-guessing. It shifts from a voice of caution to a voice of criticism, one that magnifies every perceived flaw and failure while minimizing our strengths and successes. Overcoming self-doubt requires a willingness to confront it directly, to question its validity, and to reframe the beliefs that fuel it. One of the most powerful tools in this process is self-compassion. Many people are harsher critics of themselves than they are of anyone else. They hold themselves to impossibly high standards, believing that any mistake or imperfection will prove their inadequacy. Self-compassion offers an alternative, encouraging us to treat ourselves with the same understanding, kindness, and patience that we would offer to a friend. When we approach self-doubt from a place of compassion, we create a space where mistakes and setbacks are seen as part of the journey rather than as reflections of our worth. Another critical aspect of overcoming self-doubt is to shift our focus from outcome-based thinking to process-based thinking. Self-doubt often arises from a fixation on results, wondering if we'll succeed, if we'll be recognized, or if we'll be able to meet expectations. This focus on outcomes can feel overwhelming as it places the pressure on achieving something specific, which may feel daunting or even impossible. By focusing on the process, however, we allow ourselves to be present in each step, to appreciate the small victories, and to learn from every experience. This shift in perspective helps us to see progress as an evolving journey rather than a single defining moment. It reframes success as growth and improvement, not as the attainment of a specific goal. Self-doubt also thrives in isolation. When we keep our insecurities and fears to ourselves, they have room to grow, feeding off our own worst assumptions and judgments. Sharing our doubts with trusted mentors, friends, or peers can provide a fresh perspective, one that is often more compassionate and realistic than the view we hold internally. When we open up about our struggles, we often find that others have experienced similar challenges. This shared understanding normalizes the presence of self-doubt, making it easier to manage and less intimidating. Furthermore, trusted friends and mentors can offer guidance and reassurance, reminding us of our strengths, our progress, and our resilience. In addition to building a support network, developing a growth mindset is instrumental in challenging self-doubt. A growth mindset, popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. When we embrace a growth mindset, we recognize that setbacks and failures are not reflections of our worth, but rather opportunities to learn and grow. This perspective helps us to see challenges as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. It encourages us to take risks, to view criticism as valuable feedback, and to approach each experience as a chance to improve. By adopting a growth mindset, we diminish the power of self-doubt, reframing it as a signal to learn and evolve rather than a reason to retreat. It's also helpful to practice gratitude as a counterbalance to self-doubt. When we focus on what we lack or what we perceive as weaknesses, it's easy to overlook the qualities, experiences, and achievements that make us who we are. By practicing gratitude, we shift our attention from scarcity to abundance. We acknowledge the progress we've made, the strengths we possess, and the support we have. This practice of gratitude not only boosts self-confidence, but also helps to quiet the voice of self-doubt, reminding us of the many things we have to be proud of. Self-doubt may never disappear entirely, and that's okay. It's not about eliminating self-doubt, but learning to coexist with it in a healthy way. By building a relationship with our inner critic, we can turn self-doubt into a tool for growth rather than a hindrance to success. We learn to recognize when it's offering constructive feedback and when it's simply a reflection of old fears. Over time, we can develop a greater sense of self-assurance, grounded not in the absence of doubt, but in the knowledge that we have the strength and resilience to pursue our goals in spite of it. As we work through self-doubt, we come to realize that it's less about proving our worth to others and more about discovering it for ourselves. This process of self-discovery builds confidence that is rooted in authenticity, resilience, and a deep understanding of our capabilities. It empowers us to pursue our dreams with a sense of purpose and clarity, knowing that while self-doubt may arise, it no longer has the power to hold us back. Fear of failure is an experience that affects nearly everyone on the path to success. It looms over us, casting shadows of doubt and insecurity, especially as we consider taking steps toward goals that matter deeply to us. The fear of failing is so powerful because it touches on our vulnerabilities, exposing parts of ourselves that we may not feel fully comfortable confronting. It's an emotion rooted in our need for security, acceptance, and validation. Many avoid taking bold action simply because they can't bear the thought of not succeeding. But when we allow the fear of failure to dictate our choices, we give up not only on our dreams, but also on the opportunity to grow, learn, and ultimately succeed in a meaningful way. Failure, or the fear of it, often gets blown out of proportion in our minds. We imagine it as a catastrophic event, something that will strip us of our dignity, destroy our self-worth, or lead others to judge us harshly. We think of failure as something final, a sign that we weren't cut out for our ambitions. This perception of failure is incredibly limiting. It's a perspective that views setbacks as endings, rather than as essential parts of the learning process. The truth is, failure is rarely as devastating as we imagine. In reality, it is often a stepping stone, a guidepost that redirects us, sharpens our skills, and teaches us resilience. Many of the world's most successful people have experienced significant failures along the way. They encountered setbacks, lost opportunities, or made mistakes that at the time may have seemed like the end of the road. But they didn't let these experiences define them or their potential. Instead, they viewed each failure as a lesson, an opportunity to refine their approach, and a chance to come back stronger. They understood that failure is not a reflection of their worth or potential, but rather a necessary component of growth. Every time they encountered an obstacle or failed to meet a goal, they used that experience to prepare themselves better for the next challenge. One of the biggest misunderstandings about failure is that it's a sign of personal inadequacy. We tend to believe that if we fail, it's because we're not smart enough, skilled enough, or capable enough. This is a misconception that needs to be addressed. Failure is not a reflection of our worth, it's simply feedback. It's the universe's way of saying that we may need to adjust our approach, improve our skills, or try a different path. When we interpret failure as feedback, it becomes a tool for growth rather than a reason to stop. It encourages us to assess our actions, examine our methods, and make necessary adjustments. Reframing failure in this way allows us to see it as an ally rather than an enemy. When we embrace the idea that failure is a form of guidance, we're more likely to take risks, experiment, and pursue our goals with an open mind. Instead of fearing the unknown or worrying about making mistakes, we approach each endeavor with curiosity and resilience. This shift in perspective transforms our relationship with fear, allowing us to see it as a companion on our journey rather than as an obstacle to be avoided. Fear becomes a motivator, pushing us to explore our limits and discover what we're truly capable of. Another important aspect of overcoming the fear of failure is to detach from the need for perfection. Perfectionism is often a major contributor to the fear of failure, as it creates an unrealistic standard that is nearly impossible to meet. When we believe that we must do everything flawlessly, we set ourselves up for disappointment. This perfectionist mindset prevents us from taking risks because we're afraid of making mistakes or being seen as anything less than perfect. But perfection is an illusion. No one achieves great things without making mistakes along the way. When we let go of the need to be perfect, we give ourselves permission to be human, to learn, grow, and evolve through each experience, no matter the outcome. Failure also has a way of revealing strengths we may not have known we had. When we face a setback or don't achieve the outcome we hope for, we're forced to rely on our inner resources, resilience, determination, adaptability, and courage. These qualities often lie dormant when everything is going smoothly, but they come to the forefront in times of challenge. In this way, failure not only teaches us about our goals and methods, but also reveals our inner strength. It shows us that we are capable of enduring disappointment, learning from it, and continuing forward with even greater resolve. To conquer the fear of failure, it can be helpful to focus on the journey rather than the destination. When we're overly focused on achieving a specific outcome, the possibility of not reaching it can feel overwhelming. But when we shift our focus to the process, we start to see each step as valuable, regardless of the end result. This mindset allows us to appreciate the learning, growth, and experiences we gain along the way. It reminds us that success is not defined solely by reaching a destination, but by the progress we make, the resilience we build, and the lessons we learn throughout the journey. It's also essential to cultivate self-compassion when dealing with the fear of failure. Many people are extremely hard on themselves, believing that any setback is a reflection of their inadequacy. But when we practice self-compassion, we approach our failures with understanding and kindness. We recognize that everyone faces challenges and makes mistakes, and we allow ourselves to learn from these experiences without harsh self-judgment. Self-compassion transforms the way we perceive failure. Instead of seeing it as a negative reflection of ourselves, we see it as part of being human. This perspective gives us the courage to keep trying, even when we face setbacks. An additional way to counteract the fear of failure is to focus on building resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, adapt to change, and keep moving forward. When we cultivate resilience, we develop the mental and emotional strength needed to navigate challenges and recover from disappointments. Resilience allows us to view failure not as a stopping point, but as a stepping stone, a moment that tests our resolve and strengthens our determination. By building resilience, we equip ourselves with the mindset and skills to pursue our goals, regardless of the obstacles we encounter. Failure, ultimately, is a temporary experience, but the lessons it provides can have a lasting impact. Each failure teaches us something valuable, whether it's a new approach, a better strategy, or a deeper understanding of ourselves. When we embrace failure as part of the journey, we begin to see it as an opportunity for growth rather than a setback. This shift in perspective allows us to take bolder actions, set bigger goals, and pursue our dreams with a sense of purpose and conviction. We learn that failure is not an ending, it's simply a part of the path to success. The fear of failure doesn't have to be an obstacle, it can be a powerful motivator. When we confront this fear, we unlock a sense of freedom, a willingness to take risks, and a determination to pursue our goals no matter the outcome. We become resilient, adaptable, and open to change. We recognize that each setback is an opportunity to learn, and each challenge is a chance to grow. By reframing failure as a teacher rather than a threat, we empower ourselves to move forward with confidence and clarity. Success, for many, is often seen as a future destination, a point at which life will somehow become easy, comfortable, or perfect. We envision it as the day when all our efforts finally pay off and we can finally rest on our laurels, enjoying the rewards of our hard work. But this way of thinking creates a paradox. By placing success solely in the future, we unintentionally disconnect from the value of the present moment. We lose sight of the fact that success is not simply a destination, but a journey, a continual process that unfolds in every step, every lesson, and every small victory along the way. When we shift our mindset to view success as a journey, we open ourselves up to experience fulfillment and growth at each stage, rather than delaying happiness until we reach an arbitrary endpoint. One of the most significant consequences of viewing success as a future destination is that it creates a perpetual cycle of never enough. When we place success in the future, we constantly chase a moving target. Every time we achieve something, the goalpost shifts a little further, and we find ourselves pursuing the next big thing, thinking that maybe this time we'll feel successful. We often hear about people who have achieved financial wealth, professional recognition, or personal milestones, yet still feel unfulfilled, as if something essential is still missing. This cycle can be exhausting and demotivating because it disconnects us from the present moment and from appreciating the progress we're making. When success is always somewhere out there, we deny ourselves the satisfaction and joy that come from recognizing and celebrating the journey itself. Success as a journey, however, is a mindset that encourages us to savor each step of the process. Instead of viewing our accomplishments as isolated events or the culmination of our efforts, we begin to see them as markers along the way, signs that we are growing, learning, and evolving. This shift in perspective allows us to find meaning and satisfaction in the day-to-day experiences that contribute to our growth. By embracing success as a journey, we become more resilient to setbacks, knowing that each challenge, each twist, and each turn is an essential part of our evolution. We learn to appreciate the lessons embedded in our struggles, the resilience we build in our failures, and the strength we cultivate in facing our fears. A journey-based view of success also encourages us to cultivate patience and persistence. Success in any meaningful endeavor rarely happens overnight. It's the result of consistent effort, commitment, and perseverance over time. When we see success as a journey, we become more willing to put in the work, even when progress feels slow or the results are not immediately visible. This perspective teaches us to appreciate the process of growth, knowing that each small step brings us closer to our larger goals. We begin to understand that the value of our work isn't just in the outcome, but in the effort and dedication we bring to each day. This mindset builds inner strength and endurance, qualities that sustain us through the inevitable highs and lows of any ambitious pursuit. Furthermore, when we view success as a journey, we allow ourselves to experience joy in the present, rather than postponing it until we achieve some distant goal. Too often, people think they'll be happy once they've reached a certain level of success, but this thinking prevents them from enjoying the present. By placing our happiness and fulfillment in the future, we miss out on the joy that can be found in each step of the journey. Each small victory, each lesson learned, each milestone reached becomes a source of genuine happiness and fulfillment. When we allow ourselves to celebrate these moments, we cultivate a sense of gratitude and satisfaction that enriches our lives and fuels our motivation. This shift in perspective also fosters a sense of humility and gratitude as we begin to appreciate the support and opportunities that make our journey possible. Success, after all, is rarely achieved in isolation. It's a journey that involves mentors, friends, family, colleagues, and countless others who contribute to our growth and development. When we view success as a journey, we become more aware of the contributions of others, and we feel more connected to the world around us. This awareness nurtures a sense of gratitude, which not only enriches our own lives, but also inspires us to give back, to support others on their journeys, and to contribute positively to the lives of those around us. Another advantage of seeing success as a journey is that it fosters adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and the path to success is often full of unexpected twists and turns. If we're fixated on reaching a specific destination, we may feel disheartened or defeated when things don't go as planned. But when we embrace success as a journey, we become more open to change and more resilient in the face of challenges. We learn to adjust our plans, adapt to new circumstances, and find creative solutions to obstacles. This adaptability is a crucial trait for success because it allows us to navigate uncertainty and keep moving forward, even when the road ahead is unclear. Viewing success as a journey also shifts our focus from outcome-based measures of success to process-based ones. Instead of defining success solely by external achievements or milestones, we start to value the internal growth that comes with each step. We recognize the importance of qualities like resilience, patience, discipline, and kindness, qualities that develop not through isolated achievements, but through the continuous practice of pursuing our goals. This internal growth becomes a more meaningful measure of success because it reflects who we are becoming, not just what we are achieving. By focusing on the process, we cultivate a sense of self-worth and self-confidence that is independent of external validation. Moreover, when we view success as a journey, we give ourselves permission to enjoy the learning process. Success in any field, whether it's career, personal growth, or relationships, involves acquiring new skills, expanding our knowledge, and developing our strengths. Each step of the journey presents opportunities to learn, grow, and improve. When we see success as an ongoing journey, we become more open to feedback, more willing to make mistakes, and more eager to continue learning. This mindset transforms our pursuit of success from a pressure-filled race to a fulfilling process of discovery and growth. We become more curious, more resilient, and more committed to lifelong learning. This journey-oriented approach to success also allows us to maintain a healthier work-life balance. When we place all our hopes and dreams on reaching a particular destination, we're more likely to sacrifice other areas of our lives in the pursuit of that goal. But when we embrace success as a journey, we recognize that life is about more than just achieving goals. It's about experiencing each moment fully, nurturing relationships, and taking care of our well-being. This perspective encourages us to create a balanced life, where success is not just measured by our achievements, but also by the quality of our experiences and the richness of our connections with others. Ultimately, viewing success as a journey helps us to find meaning and purpose in every stage of life, rather than waiting until we reach a certain point to feel fulfilled. It allows us to define success on our own terms, rather than relying on external markers of achievement. This shift in perspective frees us from the pressure of constantly proving ourselves and allows us to pursue our goals with a sense of joy, curiosity, and resilience. We come to understand that success is not a finish line to be crossed, but a path to be walked, a path that is enriched by each experience, each lesson, and each step forward. Seeking validation from others is an inherent human tendency. From an early age, we are conditioned to seek approval from parents, teachers, friends, and society at large. We are taught that acceptance, praise, and validation are markers of our worth, often associating external recognition with our own value. This pattern of validation seeking becomes so ingrained that we begin to measure our successes and worth based on the reactions and opinions of others. When the applause comes, we feel uplifted. But when criticism or indifference follows, we feel diminished. The result is a cycle where we depend on others for our sense of self-worth and value, which ultimately restricts our ability to achieve personal fulfillment and independence. To attain true success, we must recognize and break free from this need for external validation, cultivating an internal sense of worth that is rooted in our own values, efforts, and achievements. The need for validation often arises from a desire to belong and feel valued within a community. There's a certain comfort in knowing that our efforts are recognized and appreciated by others. However, when we base our self-worth solely on this external validation, we give up control over our own perception of ourselves. In this state, our mood, self-esteem, and motivation become tied to the opinions of others. A compliment may boost our spirits, but a criticism or lack of acknowledgement can leave us questioning our abilities and doubting our worth. This dependency on external validation creates a fragile self-image, one that is susceptible to the whims of other people's judgments and opinions. One of the main problems with relying on external validation is that it often drives us to conform to others' expectations rather than following our own passions and values. In an attempt to gain approval, we may take actions or make decisions that don't truly align with who we are. We might pursue careers that look impressive to others, adopt values that don't resonate with us, or prioritize activities that earn praise rather than those that bring us genuine fulfillment. Over time, this disconnection from our authentic selves can lead to feelings of dissatisfaction, frustration, and even resentment. We may feel that we are living someone else's life, chasing goals that don't truly matter to us, and sacrificing our true passions for the sake of approval. The pursuit of external validation also tends to breed insecurity. When our sense of worth is rooted in how others perceive us, we become hyper-aware of their reactions. We begin to second-guess our choices, worrying about whether they will be met with approval or criticism. This constant monitoring of others' responses creates a sense of anxiety as we become fearful of making mistakes or disappointing those around us. We may avoid taking risks or trying new things as the fear of judgment looms large. Instead of focusing on our own growth and learning, we become preoccupied with maintaining a certain image, stifling our creativity, ambition, and potential for personal development. To move away from this cycle of validation seeking, it is essential to shift our focus inward and develop a strong sense of self-worth that is independent of others' opinions. This process begins by identifying our own values, passions, and goals, things that are meaningful to us regardless of external recognition. When we define success on our own terms, we gain a sense of clarity and purpose that is not swayed by others' opinions. This internal compass serves as a guiding light, helping us make decisions that are in line with our true selves and providing a source of fulfillment that is not dependent on external factors. Developing self-worth from within also involves cultivating self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is the practice of acknowledging and embracing ourselves as we are, with all our strengths, weaknesses, and imperfections. When we accept ourselves fully, we no longer feel the need to seek others' approval to feel valuable. We understand that our worth is inherent and does not depend on meeting certain standards or earning praise. Self-acceptance allows us to approach life with a sense of confidence and authenticity, as we no longer feel the pressure to fit into others' expectations or prove our worth through external achievements. Another important aspect of overcoming the need for external validation is recognizing the limitations of others' opinions. People's judgments are often influenced by their own biases, insecurities, and subjective experiences which may not reflect our true worth or potential. When we give too much weight to others' opinions, we are essentially letting them define our self-image and our future. But others' perceptions are just that, perceptions. They are not definitive truths about who we are or what we're capable of. By understanding the subjective nature of opinions, we can learn to take feedback with perspective, acknowledging others' views without letting them dictate our self-worth. Learning to validate ourselves also empowers us to take risks and pursue goals that are meaningful to us. When we are no longer afraid of judgment or rejection, we gain the freedom to explore new opportunities, make bold decisions, and follow our passions without hesitation. This sense of independence allows us to live authentically as we are guided by our own values rather than by a need for approval. With this mindset, we become more resilient in the face of setbacks, as our self-worth remains intact regardless of others' reactions or outcomes. Self-validation also fosters a greater sense of inner peace. When we are constantly seeking validation from others, we experience a roller coaster of emotions as our mood and self-esteem fluctuate based on the approval or criticism we receive. But when we validate ourselves, we create a stable foundation of self-worth that is unaffected by external events. This internal stability allows us to approach life with a calm, centered mindset, as we are no longer dependent on others for our sense of value. Instead of being swayed by the opinions of those around us, we are grounded in our own sense of purpose and worth. In addition to enhancing our well-being, self-validation also has a positive impact on our relationships. When we stop relying on others for validation, we free ourselves from the tendency to seek approval in our interactions. This shift allows us to engage with others authentically, as we are no longer trying to impress, please, or gain approval. Our relationships become more genuine as we connect with others based on shared values and mutual respect, rather than a need for validation. This authenticity fosters deeper, more meaningful connections, as both parties are free to be themselves without the pressure of judgment or expectation. Ultimately, self-validation is about taking ownership of our worth. It's about realizing that we are enough, just as we are, without needing others to confirm it. This realization frees us from the constraints of external approval and allows us to live with greater confidence, purpose, and peace. When we validate ourselves, this empowerment transforms our relationship with success, as we are no longer pursuing it to prove our worth to others, but to fulfill our own vision and potential. This shift in perspective also allows us to experience true satisfaction in our achievements. When we achieve success based on our own terms and values, the fulfillment we feel is genuine and lasting, rather than dependent on fleeting praise or recognition. We understand that our accomplishments are a reflection of our hard work, resilience, and dedication, not a means to gain approval. This sense of intrinsic motivation creates a more sustainable source of fulfillment, as we are driven by a desire to grow, learn, and contribute, rather than by a need to impress or please. When we free ourselves from the need for external validation, we begin to operate from a place of self-assurance and authenticity. Our actions are no longer driven by fear of judgment or a desire for approval, but by a genuine commitment to our own growth and fulfillment. This independence allows us to pursue success on our own terms with a sense of clarity, purpose, and confidence that is unwavering in the face of external pressure. And embrace our unique path, knowing that our worth is not contingent on others' opinions, but rooted firmly within ourselves. Understanding that success is an evolving concept is crucial in navigating the complexities of personal growth and achievement. This perspective invites us to embrace change and adaptability, recognizing that our definitions of success can and often should shift over time. As we grow and evolve through our experiences, our goals, desires, and values also transform, shaping our understanding of what it means to be successful. Embracing this dynamic nature of success not only allows us to remain flexible and open-minded, but also encourages us to develop a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment as we pursue our aspirations. One of the most liberating aspects of viewing success as an evolving concept is the freedom it provides from the rigid frameworks often imposed by society. Many people find themselves trapped in conventional definitions of success that equate it with status, wealth, or certain societal benchmarks such as a prestigious job title, a large house, or financial security. While these markers can be meaningful to some, they do not universally represent success for everyone. Recognizing that success is subjective enables us to define our own criteria for success, grounded in our unique values, aspirations, and life experiences. This shift liberates us from the pressures of conformity, allowing us to pursue paths that are authentically ours rather than simply mirroring societal expectations. Additionally, embracing the evolution of success encourages a growth mindset. A growth mindset, a term coined by psychologist Carol Dweck, refers to the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication, effort, and learning. When we adopt this mindset, we start to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities for growth and development. Viewing success as an evolving concept aligns perfectly with this mindset, as it encourages us to embrace learning and improvement at every stage of our lives. Instead of viewing ourselves as fixed entities with predetermined capabilities, we recognize that we are always in a state of development, capable of expanding our skills, knowledge, and potential. This growth-oriented perspective also fosters resilience. Life is inherently unpredictable, and the journey toward achieving our goals is often filled with ups and downs. By acknowledging that success is not a fixed endpoint but an evolving journey, we cultivate resilience in the face of setbacks. Rather than seeing failures as definitive endpoints, we begin to view them as integral components of our journey. We learn to extract valuable lessons from our experiences, understanding that each setback provides us with insights and skills that contribute to our personal growth. This resilience allows us to bounce back from challenges with greater strength and determination, fueling our drive to continue pursuing our goals. Moreover, the evolving nature of success invites us to continually reassess our priorities and aspirations. As we experience new life events, whether they are professional milestones, personal transformations, or shifts in our relationships, we gain new insights into what truly matters to us. This self-reflection enables us to refine our goals, letting go of those that no longer align with our values while embracing new aspirations that resonate with our evolving identities. By engaging in this process of self-assessment, we create a more intentional approach to our pursuits, allowing us to invest our time and energy into endeavors that genuinely reflect who we are and what we wish to achieve. This continual reassessment also cultivates a sense of gratitude for the present moment. When we recognize that success is an evolving journey, we learn to appreciate where we are right now, rather than constantly fixating on the next achievement or milestone. We become more aware of the progress we've made, the lessons we've learned, and the growth we've experienced along the way. This gratitude fosters a deeper sense of fulfillment as we learn to celebrate not only our accomplishments, but also the journey itself. Each step, no matter how small, becomes a meaningful part of our narrative, enriching our lives and adding depth to our experiences. In addition, understanding that success evolves encourages us to cultivate a sense of curiosity. Instead of being solely focused on achieving specific outcomes, we become more open to exploration and experimentation. This curiosity empowers us to try new things, take risks, and step outside our comfort zones. We learn to embrace uncertainty as a natural part of the process, knowing that each new experience contributes to our growth and expands our understanding of what success can look like. This mindset of curiosity allows us to approach life with a sense of wonder and excitement, creating space for new possibilities and opportunities. This evolving concept of success also aligns with the idea of lifelong learning. When we view success as a journey, we acknowledge that learning doesn't stop once we achieve a particular goal or milestone. Instead, we understand that the pursuit of knowledge, skills, and personal development is a lifelong endeavor. This recognition encourages us to seek out new learning opportunities, whether through formal education, personal interests, or real-life experiences, ensuring that we continue to grow and evolve throughout our lives. This commitment to lifelong learning not only enhances our personal and professional capabilities, but also enriches our lives, fostering a sense of purpose and fulfillment. As we embrace the evolving nature of success, we also cultivate empathy and understanding for others on their journeys. Everyone is navigating their own unique path with different experiences, challenges, and definitions of success. Recognizing that success is not a one-size-fits-all concept encourages us to celebrate the diversity of journeys and the individual aspirations that drive people forward. This awareness fosters a sense of community as we learn to support and uplift one another in our pursuits rather than engaging in comparison or competition. By nurturing a culture of encouragement and understanding, we create an environment where everyone can thrive and pursue their own vision of success. The evolving concept of success also challenges us to remain adaptable in the face of change. In an ever-changing world, the ability to pivot and adjust our goals and aspirations is essential for sustained growth and fulfillment. As circumstances shift, whether due to personal experiences, professional changes, or broader societal transformations, our definitions of success may need to evolve accordingly. Embracing this adaptability allows us to remain resilient and open-minded, ensuring that we can navigate life's uncertainties with confidence and grace. Instead of feeling defeated by unexpected changes, we learn to view them as opportunities for growth and reevaluation, allowing our definitions of success to expand and adapt as needed. This adaptability fosters a greater sense of empowerment. When we understand that success is not a rigid endpoint, but a fluid, evolving concept, we become more confident in our ability to shape our own paths. We recognize that we have the agency to define our journeys and make choices that align with our evolving aspirations. This empowerment leads to increased motivation and initiative as we take ownership of our growth and actively pursue the opportunities that resonate with us. Instead of waiting for external validation or approval, we learn to trust ourselves and our abilities, embracing the power of our decisions and the potential they hold. Ultimately, the evolving concept of success enriches our lives by infusing our journeys with meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. When we understand that success is not a static destination but a dynamic process, we create a framework that supports growth, learning, and resilience. This perspective empowers us to define our own criteria for success, embrace change, and pursue our aspirations with clarity and confidence. By recognizing that success is an ever-evolving journey, we invite greater satisfaction, joy, and fulfillment into our lives, ultimately leading us to a more authentic and purposeful existence.